Hello everyone, this is Big Money Chasing Big Money by Copytrading on BITGET. This video will be another episode in my copy trading tutorial series. This time I'm going to elaborate further on my trader analysis methods and how I manage risk. These two aspects are very important for everyone to do on their own, and I will just show you how I do it most of the time. Of course, it doesn't mean that is the best way to do it, and it definitely wouldn't work for everyone, but I'm sure it will be useful for a lot of users who want to understand BITGET's copy trading platform and develop their own set of rules to follow. In my previous video, I covered how I filter for interesting trader profiles, and I still follow that method to begin with. Once I find a trader who passes the first round of selection, the next step for me is to perform a full-blown analysis of the trading history. Unfortunately, there is no option to download the entire trading record of the trader with just one click, even though I sent an email to BITGET requesting this feature, and I really hope they will consider it. Without such an option though, I will just need to manually copy and paste everything into Excel. This can be, of course, time-consuming, but it's absolutely worth the time. So let's just go and find a trader which seems to be okay at first sight. I usually follow these steps. I'm in tile view, which gives me the most information. I'm not looking for 100% of win rate, and I'm absolutely okay with 2-digit ROI percentages. Even though I don't really like the ranking method of BITGET on this page, I'm still just going to select someone from here. Now, this trader has enough transactions and has been trading for a while, has the maximum limit of followers. One update about this. Since my last video, professional traders can now apply for an increased follower cap. This means that from the default maximum of 500 copiers, if they pass the quality check of BITGET, they can go up to 1000. Now let's see the rest. His P&L checks out. His gain and loss ratio is okay. Switching to the monthly view. I'm okay actually with these charts. Seems like he closed some trades in loss here, but honestly speaking, I prefer traders who close their losing positions in time instead of just letting them running out of control. So this drop right here for me is actually a reassuring sign. Trading volume is also absolutely fine like this. Now let's go to the orders. First thing I check if he has some open trades or not. He doesn't have any, so that is good. Taking a look at his trading history, he trades all different coins, which is okay. Here are the losing trades that he closed recently. This was at the time when the market was dropping hard, so it makes sense to close them. I'm okay with this. So, time to copy and paste to Excel. Alright, now I have everything in Excel, 562 lines, which is exactly what the trader has in his profile, so I didn't skip any transactions. Next thing to do is to split these cells up into columns and make sure that Excel understands what the data represents. Now that I have formatted all the data into columns and I made Excel comprehend the type of data, I can start extracting some useful information. First step is to see how long this trader keeps his positions open. I hope not for too long, and also if he opens up a lot of identical trades. With this, I want to see if there are trades kept open for days and how many transactions are being opened in one day, maybe at the same time. I'm going to color code the ones which are opened around the same time, and most importantly, how many trades were opened simultaneously. As I can tell, the duration of the trades being open is mostly acceptable, but we will have to check that more in detail. The next step is to create a simulation and say I have $1,000, I use $10 for a lot size, and I maximize the leverage at 20x. I will make Excel calculate actually how much I would have made by copying this trader. First profit calculation is the base profit, meaning a simple multiplication with my lot size and the profit percentage, without considering any leverage settings or fees or costs. Alright, this looks correct. Now let's see how much this would be in total. In total, this would be over $2,500 with a $1,000 budget, and this seems to be amazing, but we need to make adjustments here. So my next column will be leverage adjusted profit. This will immediately show how much the base profit is according to my preferred leverage setting. This means that if the trader opened a 50x leverage trade but my leverage settings was set for 20x, the calculation will decrease the profit accordingly. Let's see the sum of the adjusted profit, and it's over $1,000, which is still great. Now it's time to deduct the charges. As you know, all traders have a success fee, which is called profit share. Each trader has a rate, but most common is 8%. This specific trader has a maximum rate possible, which is 10%. So we need to deduct this from our adjusted base profit amount. Profit share is only applied to profitable positions, so if a trade is closed in loss, there is nothing to deduct, obviously. After the profit share is charged, we also must consider the costs of opening and closing positions. Normal accounts have 6% total cost if you use 50x leverage, 3% for 25x, and so on. Discounted accounts, however, have less, with around 5% for 50x leverage and 2.5% for 25x leverage, respectively. I'm going to use the discounted figures. Good thing now that if I change the leverage in the Excel sheet, it will automatically change the cost ratio too. So it will be easy to estimate the best settings for this trader and to see how much actually I would make by copying him. The last calculation to make is the net profit, meaning the amount after applying all the modifiers and deducting all the costs and charges. This is as close to a realistic profit estimation as it can get. The final net profit now is just about $800, which is still absolutely amazing. But is it safe to use these settings? For this, I have just put together a dashboard, which is basically the same concept but summarized and displayed in a pivot chart. Here I am checking the number of positions opened per day. I see that the maximum number of trades is 15 and not more. Would I feel comfortable with 15 trades being open at 20x leverage? Probably not, at least not with a $1,000 budget. When I see a trader like this, I apply the rule of number 10, which is just my own rule, and it goes like this. For a $1,000 budget, with a $10 lot size, use 10x leverage. That is acceptable as long as the daily open trades is not more than 10. This trader, however, opens 15 a day at peaks. So I will need to decrease the leverage probably until 7 just to be sure. Another personal rule is that I am never aiming at more than 10% of net profit per month. Anything over that would just increase my risk and is just simply not worth it. 10% a month is quite a lot, and you can build a fortune with it just within 2 years, especially if you apply compounding. Alright, I hope this video was helpful in building your own analytic and risk management methods. I will leave a link to a sample of the Excel sheet that I just used. Feel free to use it and play around with it. As always, feedback is welcome in the comment section. Let me know if there is anything you would like me to cover in the upcoming videos. Until then, trade safe.